Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk. Going to get started in a second. Bitcoin Brandon here. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Tanisha, Pamela. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Mahfouz. Good morning, Peter. Eldridge. Halfway through the week. Good morning, Jason. Getting exciting, guys. Getting excited. Every day that passes by is closer and closer. Good morning, Jay. We've got some good crypto news to share this morning for the United States. Well, I don't know if it's good or not. I haven't read the articles yet, so we're going to read them together and see what the status of the United States is. Shockingly, Russia is already ahead of us. Russia has already legalized Bitcoin. Huge news over there. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jay Purnell. We'll be getting started in a second. Week is halfway over. A couple of days left. Hope you guys are having a crypto-tastic day so far. We've been very, very busy working behind the scenes, getting things prepared, working with the lawyers, compliance. That's no joke. Expensive as also. All right. As I always state when I get started, as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I just share my opinion, read the news, and give suggestions. You take that information, you do your own research, and make your own decision on what you want to do. There are four main pillars that I call it my prime directive to engaging in the crypto world. Number one, education. Number two, never invest and play with money you cannot afford to lose. Number three, always get your ROI back ASAP, because from that point forward, you've eliminated your risk. And number four, have a game plan. Have a plan of action. Where do you want to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? My game plan is I'll be a multi-millionaire before this year is out. Where are you going to be? And then stick to the plan. Don't get distracted. It is easy to get distracted in this space. And if you follow that prime directive, you will have success in this volatile industry, no matter what you do, no matter what you're involved in. You'll have a positive experience. You'll eliminate or minimize your risk, but also know, and I guarantee that somewhere along the way you're going to lose. It doesn't mean you lose everything, but somewhere along the way you're going to lose, because nothing always goes up indefinitely. When you're educated, you know how to maneuver around those pitfalls so it doesn't debilitate you. And you keep moving forward and you learn while you're moving forward. So let's take a look at the charts this morning. I haven't done that this morning either. Shame on me. Normally that's the first thing I do. So I'm going to go to coinmarketcap.com. As of right now, Bitcoin is that right? 11,800? No, it went down. 10,700. So last night it was at 11,800 and dropped almost $1,000 in less than 24 hours. At 10,700, it is still above where it was at the beginning of February. Total market cap looks like it dropped by 40 billion over the last 12 hours. The entire board from yesterday morning, it was green, and today it is in red. So that's interesting. And we're not just regular red, we're talking almost double-digit red for Bitcoin, 10,700, Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, the top 5 coins are all almost double-digit loss except for Bitcoin and Ripple. Let's see here. Anything that's in the green. We've got Nano, that's a little bit in the green. Any major moves. Digix DAO is double-digit green at 15%. What's happening, Lashana? I see you. We've got Dent is double-digit, 10% up. So it looks like a pump and dump is taking place there on the Dent. You can always spot the pump and dumps. All right, so we'll see what happens over the next 12 hours with this market. So let's go over some news first. I want to go over U.S. federal authorities arrest man for selling 9.99 Bitcoin. See, this is exactly why. You know, in the early days, and I say early days like it was that long ago, less than a year ago, you know, people would always come to me, especially people who did not understand how to set up a Bitcoin wallet, didn't know how to, how to get their accounts attached to their bank account. And they come to me and say, hey, Brandon, if I send you some money on PayPal, can you send me some Bitcoin? And in the early days, I did it because it was easy. It was convenient. It kept things moving. It also saved me the hassle of having to spend 45 minutes on a Skype or a Zoom sharing screen trying to walk somebody through setting up their Bitcoin account. And that's probably the main reason why I did it. You know, when you've got 500, 600 people sending you a private message asking for help. Hey, can you show me how to set up my account? Oh, I set up my account, but I don't see where I go to send the money. Well, what's a wallet address? They keep saying I need a wallet address. I don't even know where to go to find that. What's the difference between a send address and a receive? Well, can I go ahead and send Bitcoin to a Ethereum address? That's just on a 1 in a million. Just this morning, I got a question from somebody that they said, I have 0.0204 Bitcoin. Does that mean I don't have any US dollars, no money? That means it's worthless because it's 0.0 something? They have no idea how to use an actual Bitcoin calculator. I'm like, no, you've got about 217 bucks right there, man. But I don't have time to spend 90% of my day answering 1,000,001 basic general questions. That's why we've got our education platform to do that for us. But I also had to stop helping people that couldn't figure out how to buy Bitcoin. They would just send me money and I would buy it for them because of tax reasons. Also, it's messing with my limit. So I don't do that anymore. I will not be your Bitcoin broker. And I would advise you as individuals not to do that. They need to take the time and get their own account set up properly. If they don't know how, we've got a platform that will teach how to set it up properly. So this article here, and I'll put it in the chat box. This article here talks about U.S. federal authorities arrest man for selling Bitcoin, 9.99 Bitcoin. I wonder why that number is important. Let me put my phone on mute. Everyone's blowing me up every time I do a live. Then they want to ask questions. All right. That's right, Lashana. Bitcoin broker. Did you hear it yesterday? Someone said, hey, what about becoming the Black Panther of Bitcoin? I was like, ooh, I like that one for branding. Black Panther of Bitcoin. So yeah, Jairus can be Killmonger. I'm King T'Challa. He's got the hair. He can be Killmonger. Although Killmonger was cooler than Black Panther in my opinion. If you guys haven't seen the movie, you got to go see that movie. Great movie. All right, if you're thinking about selling Bitcoin for cash inside the United States to people you don't know, caution is advised. A reminder to stay alert for undercover government agents who might try to entrap you has been served by a recent California case. Oh, I really need to pay attention because I'm in California. All right, what's going on here? So another Bitcoin arrest in the U.S. An American citizen was arrested earlier this month for selling Bitcoin by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. ICE? Well, they do more than just arrest illegal immigrants. There's also customs enforcement. The federal government law enforcement body under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security? According to case records from the Southern California, really is in my backyard, Southern California District Court of California, Morgan Rock-Coons, that's his name, Morgan Rock-Coons, aka Morgan Rockwell, is accused of laundering monetary instruments and the operation of an unlicensed money transmitting business. So that's what this one's interesting. And Mahfouz, I know what you're talking about. WWE Wrestling, Titus Worldwide. All right, let me continue here. Let me not get sidetracked. The government also seeks the forfeiture of all his assets related to the matter. The records further show. Okay. So Morgan, this is a tweet, I guess. On Friday, February 9th. Oh yeah, this is him tweeting. On Friday, February 9th, I was arrested in my home by Department of Homeland Security over a Bitcoin transaction from November 2016 and am released under a personal reconnaissance bond I am being charged with. So let me think about this. 9.99 Bitcoin in 2016. In November Bitcoin was worth about $740 something on average. So let me do the math here. So 9.99 times 740. That's about $7,000. That's not a lot. 9.9 Bitcoin today, that's worth like 90,000 bucks. But so we're talking about $7,000 back then. 2016? They're getting him on that now? With regards, it says abusing hash power. With regards to the money laundering count, the defendant is accused of knowingly conducting a financial transaction with a law enforcement officer for the proceeds of a specified unlawful activity. Okay, what's that unlawful activity? He allegedly exchanged 9.998 Bitcoin, then valued about $9,208, with an undercover agent for $14,500 in fiat he was told was the proceeds of manufacturing and distributing hash oil. It's getting interesting. An oil containing tetrahydrocannabinol, basically weed oil. THC is a principal psychoactive constituent of cannabis and listed as a controlled substance under Schedule 1 by U.S. federal law. Okay, this is actually medical marijuana in the state of California is legal. So I can't give an opinion on this because I don't know the law specifically to what is THC considered used for medical marijuana. But I think it all comes down to having a license. Just because it is legal in the state, you still need to be licensed to sell it. So if this guy is not licensed and he's trying to get this stuff not from a licensed licensed distributor, then I guess that's illegal, and then he's using Bitcoin at the same time. All right, let me continue. As for the count regarding the operation of an unlicensed money transmitting business, there you go, unlicensed money transmitting business, it is a more broad accusation which the U.S. authorities can apparently pin on any individual who trades in larger amounts of Bitcoin not on an approved exchange. Okay, now it's starting to make sense to me. In a previous case, where a local Bitcoin user from Michigan was charged, an agent claimed that any transaction of $3,000 or more must comply with Know Your Customer regulations. That's KYC. Yeah, I had people, especially in November and December of last year, that was sending me messages all the time. Hey, man, you know, I got like 4K. Can you shoot me over some 4K worth of Bitcoin? And I'm like, no, man. No, I can't do that, because then it goes down on record as me purchasing the Bitcoin, and I don't buy Bitcoin. I earn Bitcoin. I don't buy it. There's a huge difference. So, that's an interesting thing to learn. What's the moral of the story there? My suggestion, do not, you know, and maybe you're doing it for friends and family that you know, but do not purchase cryptocurrency coins for somebody else and then they give you the cash to do so. Whether you think it's legal or not, I would stay far away from that, because even if that part is legal, you're going to get hit down the road, whatever the laws are when it comes to taxes. So that's very, very important. All right, let's go on to the next. And this is interesting. I already did a whole series the other day about Russia. Russia legalizing Bitcoin and why they're doing so. And why we as Americans need to pay attention. But here in America, there's two articles I'm going to cover that are saying two different things. One, this is saying U.S. lawmakers eye national crypto regulation, and the other says the United States government is not even close to cryptocurrency regulations. So I'm going to read the other one first, because it came out first. And I don't even like the author of this article, Edward Kelso. I think he's biased on a whole lot of things, and I challenge his knowledge in this industry. Yeah, I can do that. I don't believe anything that I just read. I have enough education where I can know if something's BS, or if somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, or if they're interjecting their own personal agenda onto a news article. I can tell. So what is this guy talking about here? Let me put it in the chat box. Gun control, Russia, healthcare. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives and Senate in both parties tend to differ, and often vehemently, similar to issues of national security and war. However, it appears cryptocurrency regulation is decidedly less divisive, only because they don't understand it. That's the only reason why. They haven't received their talking points on Bitcoin yet. Actually, the Trump administration has. The person they put in charge of the SEC last summer, he has his marching orders. But the rest, the Congress, Bitcoin money, let's put it this way, because this is what politicians pay attention to. Campaign donations. So Bitcoin money for campaign donations hasn't hit them yet, whether for or against. I know the banks, though. The banks and their campaign contributions are going to force the congressmen and senators to be negative towards Bitcoin. So anything you see that comes out for them initially will be negative. It'll be all about criminal activity. It'll all be about ISIS and money laundering and a bubble popping and all that stuff. But the crypto space ain't broke. And you're going to start seeing them pumping money into the campaign donations, and these senators and congressmen will start to sing a different tune. All right, enough of my own commentary. Let me continue. Both traditionally pro-market Republicans and open-minded Democrats are producing bipartisan rhetoric in support of federal legislation to tame the crypto revolution. Okay, in other words, both the Democrats and Republicans are listening to their, not constituents, to the campaign donors, the big money guys, the bankers. They're saying, hey, we need to put a check on this Bitcoin stuff. So both sides are now talking, yeah, we need to kind of stop this crypto revolution crap. Crypto regulation rhetoric is bipartisan. That's true. Senator Chris Van Hollen, a Democrat, walked a tight rhetorical line on the burgeoning cryptocurrency phenomenon, saying the goal here is to have rules of the road that protect consumers without trying to squash innovation. I have no problem with that sentence. Protect the consumers without squashing innovation. Now, by knowing the political philosophies of both parties, traditionally, it should be the Democrats against Bitcoin and the Republicans for Bitcoin. Why? Well, look at their philosophy. The Democrats have always been traditionally about government intervention in helping out the middle and the lower class with programs, with aid. So they're all about government, helping out. That's not what Bitcoin and crypto is all about. Bitcoin and crypto is decentralized. The Republicans traditionally have all been about free market, limited government intervention. Let the businesses do what they need to do. The more you get the government involved, the worse you make things happen. That's the Ronald Reagan approach. So when you look at it from that standpoint, the Republicans should be all for Bitcoin. But they're not. The Republicans are more against it than the Democrats. So then when you know this, you got to understand why. What's the politics behind it? Do your own research. You don't need me to tell you. Do your own research. Understand why. What is their motive? Why are the Republicans, since they all for free market, capitalization, no government intervention, why are they running around talking about, we need to regulate this? We need the government to shut them down. Why? Why is Donald Trump signing bills in law that's putting a hamper on the Bitcoin craze? So let me continue. Cynics have long contended both political wings in the United States are part of the same sick bird. Yeah, that's true. They seem to have differences responding to various constituencies with requisite amounts of intensity. But when it comes to guns and butter, and especially butter, cosmetic differences are set aside and a strange uniformity kicks in. Yeah, it's called self-preservation. The senators and congressmen, whether Republican or Democrat, have more in common with each other than they do the rest of you and I. Let me use this in layman's terms again. Let's take professional basketball, for example. There's a reason why I love 80s and 90s basketball much better than this modern garbage that we're being fed today. One word: competition. See, in the 80s and 90s, when they were still millionaires, but they were nowhere making the type of money that these kids are making today. So as a result, you had the players feeling more loyal to their fans, to their city. You had players spending their whole career in the same city. You had Larry Bird, that's synonymous with Boston. Isaiah Thomas, synonymous with Detroit. Reggie Miller, synonymous with the Pacers. Karl Malone and John Stockton, synonymous with Utah. Akeem Olajuwon with Houston. Jordan and Pippen with Chicago. Magic Johnson. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Lakers. Kobe Bryant was the last bastion where, not Dirk Nowitzki with Dallas. Tim Duncan with San Antonio. No, Kevin Johnson with the Dan Marley with the Phoenix Suns. Can't say Barkley because he kind of moved around a bit from Philly to Houston and Phoenix. But these guys didn't want to play with each other. They wanted to play against each other. They wanted to be the best. And the only way you can be the best is if you go up against the best. The reason why the Dream Team in '92 was so big, because for the first time, it allowed us to see these players play with each other on the same team with the American flag behind them as Americans, where they came together. But when you look at today, these kids are not motivated by competition. And they're making so much money that they're not loyal to their fan base or their city. They have more in common with each other than they do with you and I. It's a completely different mindset. It's not about do they have the same skill set as the older generation. I would say this generation has more talent. Freaks of nature. But the older generation has more discipline, fundamentals, drive, competitive nature, hard work mentality. That's missing in this current generation. They think they work hard. They don't know nothing yet. Throw them back in time and let them play those guys. They would get run out the gym. Let the '92 Dream Team go up against any of the best players today. It'll be a rout. They'll win by 40. Not because they have the better talent, although ain't nobody better than Jordan. But they want the competition. So, since I went off track, let me bring it back home. The current lawmakers have more in common with each other than the people they represent, because where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? It's coming from not you and I, but big money donors and the bankers. That's who they are representing. So that's why on an issue like this, they could stand hand in hand with. So let me continue here. Republican Senator Mike Rounds told Reuters, "There's no question about the fact that there is a need for a regulatory framework. Indeed, at an open hearing, under the auspice of Senator Rounds' committee, both chairs of the Securities and Exchange Commission and Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the SEC and the CFTC, were decidedly agnostic on extending their own powers, but in agreement, future focus would need to be placed upon cryptocurrencies specifically. Whether that came from the form of a dedicated and separate agency, I hope they don't do that. Let's stop that noise right now. We don't need a special government agency specifically designed to monitor cryptocurrency. That's not in our interest. We don't need that. We don't want that. If you guys start even seeing a hint of that, that's when you want to write your congressmen and senators to squash that noise. Because it will be used negatively for us. And if that happens, it's going to be another arm the IRS is going to be able to use to track all of you guys down that haven't been paying your Bitcoin taxes for the last couple of years and you thought you got away with it. They're going to track you down. They're going to have quantum computers. They're going to be able to track all that stuff. So no, we don't want a specific government agency with its sole purpose on monitoring cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, I think it's going to happen. Trump's going to sign something, probably not now, 2 or 3 years from now, if he's still president. And excuse any background noise, today's Wednesday, this is my gardener's day, so if you hear any of that. Alright, so they say, but in agreement, future focus would need to be placed upon cryptocurrency specifically. You hear that? The head of the SEC and the head of the CFTC say, they both say, in the future, Focus would need to be placed. Hold on a second. Let me let this guy get around my window. Gotta let the gardeners do what the gardeners do. All right. They both say in the future, focus would need to be placed upon cryptocurrencies specifically. Whether that came in the form of a dedicated and separate agency or some hybrid within existing institutions is all up for grabs. That is the dangerous statement right there that everybody needs to pay attention to. Calls for regulation seem to dry as Bitcoin tumbled some 60% recently, signaling to those less literate in crypto, such markets were ending in a natural death. Yeah, the ones that are illiterate, they have no idea. Those of us who are educated knew that it was a market correction. All right, but as the market continues to go up, you're going to start hearing oh, we got to regulate it. We guess the bubble didn't burst. However, across the board, cryptocurrencies are rebounding, showing a resilience troubling to lawmakers. Why? Why is that troubling to lawmakers? Got to ask the question. Why are they scared of this? Why do they feel threatened by this? Isn't the crypto and the Bitcoin actually helping the average person lift themselves out of poverty? This is the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. See, there's been shifts in history before, but they have been locked out by us, and only the wealthy, only Wall Street, only the bankers, only the rich have been able to participate, and they expect us to have trickle-down economics off of that. Now that we all, if you got access to the internet, you have access to this wealth, why would lawmakers be against their own constituents making some more money so that they can pay taxes, they can buy houses, they can buy cars? That's more money going into the economy. That's more money going into the healthcare system. That's more people that's not dependent on the federal government. That's eliminating our debt. Why would lawmakers be against that? Why would they feel threatened by that? I don't need to answer the question. It's obvious. They don't represent you. The SEC is properly the lead on the issue. 6 months ago, we didn't see this explosion. The marketplace has changed. Republican House member Bill Huizenga noticed his committee is taking up the issue of crypto regulation next month, and he's on record as supporting oversight, of course. Aren't the Republicans... What isn't Donald Trump saying? The issue ain't about Russia. The issue is about the FBI spying on its own American citizens. That's the only reason why you know something was going on with Russia. Isn't the Republicans against Big Brother? Stay out of our living rooms. Stay away from our guns. Yet they want to, yeah, we need to have oversight on crypto. Why? Now it's election season as well. Election season is on and cracking. Adding to U.S. regulatory fever is an off-year election this November. The entire 435 lower legislative body, the House of Representatives, is up for re-election. And Republicans hold a slim and narrowing majority. A third of the U.S. Senate's 100-member chamber is also up, and Republicans hold a slight lead there as well. With the Republican president set for 2 more years after, both parties see this November as a chance to alter political fortunes. American politicians typically hit on easier targets, and crypto's considerable bad press, linking it to crime and fraud, might be just a topic to gain the electorate's attention. This is going to backfire on them so freaking bad. If you're looking for low-hanging fruit, this is not what you want to hit on. See, they think they can manipulate the news and keep bad press going. But what happens when Bitcoin goes to 30 and 40,000 before the elections, before November? You think people are going to want the government to regulate it, to put more taxes on it? Whatever politician puts their head on this is going to get chopped off. Look at what happened in South Korea. The regulators jumped hard on the banks and on the exchanges. Next thing you know, there was a 200,000 person petition saying, if you continue to go down this route, we will remove you from office, as South Korea quickly changed its tone. See, the senators and congressmen don't even understand crypto. They don't understand it's for the people, by the people. And if they go against it, they are going to be on the chopping block. They don't understand that because they don't understand crypto. But at the same time, here's what they're relying on. 50% of American population has been exposed to crypto. 5% actually own it. So that's 95% of Americans that don't have any dog in the fight. They don't have skin in the game. They're just watching. And 5% out of the 5% that actually own it, 0.5% actually understand what it is. So we are dealing with a misinformed, uneducated populace on this space that tend to believe in anything they read and see on TV without question. And they tend to always go towards those that hold the same beliefs as them. So if you're at Thanksgiving and Christmas and your relatives and they're talking about Bitcoin and your broke uncle, man, I know somebody lost all their money in that Bitcoin stuff. That's what people are going to gravitate to. People that love Donald Trump will watch Fox News 24/7. People that hate Donald Trump will watch CNN and MSNBC all day 24/7. Which is why our goal with KGX, Cryptogenics, is to inform and educate the population. Because if you're informed, you can make educated decisions, not based on what you're told, but based on what you know. There's a difference. Let me continue. I'm spending way too much time on this. I got another article after this. A lot of people don't realize there's nothing backing these virtual currencies, warned House Democrat Carolyn Maloney. Congresswoman Maloney wishes to expand SEC jurisdiction over cryptocurrencies. Stop right there. Look at the sentence she said. A lot of people don't realize there's nothing backing these virtual currencies. Really? What's backing the US dollar? A lot of people don't realize there's nothing backing the US dollar. The gold standard ended in 1971. George Bush said it best. The only thing backing the US dollar is confidence in it by the people. What do you think is backing the freaking crypto? Confidence by the people, and not just United States people, worldwide. That's what's backing it. The US dollar, you know, it costs 15 cents to make the $100 bill. Toilet paper is worth more than that. Why don't you open up Fort Knox and let us see how much gold reserves the U.S. actually has, if it even is still there? What's backing the U.S. dollar and the fiat currency? That got exposed in 2008, and Bush was forced to make a statement to calm everybody down and say, hey, listen, the only reason why our system works is because you believe it works. He actually said that. So here they're going to come, the only reason, there's nothing backing crypto. I don't know if she said that out of ignorance because she just don't know herself, or if she's lying because she knows you don't know. I have no problem blasting a Republican or a Democrat for ignorance. I'm not playing party politics here. Republican House member Tom MacArthur cautioned, we have to look carefully at all of the cryptocurrencies and make sure individuals don't get taken advantage of. What? So now you're for the people, huh? Where were you, Tom, in 2008 with the bankers that back you screwed us all over because of the mortgage crisis? You knew what was going on. There was no blockchain technology back then for us to see that it was taking place. You knew it was taking place and you allowed it because of greed. But now you're worried about individuals getting taken care of? What, are we just that stupid? We need you to hold our hand? House Freedom Caucus member, I'm getting myself all worked up here. Let me calm down. I'm getting worked up because I understand the truth. And I know how the game is played. And I know that 95% of the people out there listen to this crap and they fall for it because they're not informed. And what makes me angry is not that the people that are not informed, the ignorant. It's the people like these people, the congressmen and senators, who are taking advantage of that lack of knowledge to manipulate you. That's what pisses me off. House Freedom Caucus member Republican Dave Brat gave an equivocation. I'm a total free marketer, so I don't want to regulate. Okay, so far so good. But if it's a currency that could destabilize the whole economy, you're going to have that conference. Okay, stop right there. How is it going to destabilize the whole economy? Let's have that debate. Don't just make the statement, back it up with some examples. How in the world is crypto, with a market penetration of 450 billion, going to destabilize a $200 trillion market? What happened in 2008 destabilized the economy. That was the US dollar did that, not crypto. If anything, the crypto industry will bolster the market. Why? Because we still just can't go to the grocery store and buy stuff with crypto. We still need to convert it back into US cash to do it. What we're doing is putting more money, more resources in the average person's hand so that they now can put that more money and that cash flow in the economy. How is that destabilizing it? We're going to be able to bring down debt. We're going to be able to afford health care. We're going to be able to have to eliminate that second job so that now we have more time to spend on our kids, where we can teach our kids right moral values that they're not just getting from the TV or whatever babysitter. That's going to have a huge long-term impact on society. The list goes on. When people have more resources, they buy more stuff. Americans don't save money. The average American has less than $1,000 in their savings account. They make the money, they spend the money. So if they have more money to spend, that's good for the economy. That creates more jobs. That creates more exposure and consumption. But what's the real deal here? Who are they representing? The threat is not to our economy. The threat is to the banking system, that people will no longer need to use the banks. That's the threat. The White House, for its part, has expressed worry. Why? With regard to Bitcoin and crime. Really? You're going to keep going down that route? We're worried about crime. But it hasn't put forth any policy proposals as of yet. Asked about the prospects for a federal regulation agenda, emanating from the Oval Office, Special Assistant to the President Rob Royce explained, I think we're still absolutely studying and understanding what the good ideas and bad ideas in that space are. So I don't think it's close. All right, now you told the truth. That is the absolute truth. In layman's terms, they still don't even know what the hell Bitcoin is. Good or bad, they don't know what it is. So when you don't know what it is, they fall back on, give us our talking points from our lobbyists. We'll just use that for now until the public starts screaming bloody murder. All right, let's go on to the last article. I hope you learned something from that, and I will, those of you that came on late. Uh-oh. Oops. I think I just shut off. I hope I saved that article. Hold on, let me see if I can paste it back in here. Yeah, there we go. Hope you learned something from that article. Now I want to read the final article that says the United States government not even close to cryptocurrency regulations. And that makes sense because that last article ended with Rob Roy saying, oh, we're not even close. We're not, it's not, and you know what? I'm actually upset by that. Because our arch enemy, the Russians, not only are they close, they just legalized Bitcoin. They have a space in Russia bigger than the size of Texas that they've zoned just to do Ethereum mining. They want to be the world's largest mining of Ethereum. A region larger than the state of Texas in Russia. They have two cities, pilot cities, that they're using to test out cryptocurrency and the use of it in day-to-day life. Well, they're licensing everybody that wants to be involved in it so they can track how it's working. They are already coming out with their own crypto ruble this summer. They just legalized Bitcoin. They want to eliminate the United States' ability to put sanctions on them. They want to be able to do trade outside of the US dollar. What is America doing? Oh, we don't even know what Bitcoin is. That's a threat. That's worrisome as an American citizen. That we're not even prepared as a nation. So how in the world can we lead the way? Well, we can, as long as the government doesn't get in the way. America wasn't built based on our government. America was built on the people. We don't need the government to do what we do best. I always say this in my network marketing career, that my upline has always gotten in my way. If you're in network marketing, you may or may not understand that. But my upline has always gotten in my way. I'm like, you know what? Thank you for sharing this opportunity with me. Now move out the way so I can do what I do best. I don't need to be calling my sponsor every freaking 5 minutes asking dumbass questions. I am the CEO of my business. I handle things. Get out the way. That's how Republicans used to say about the federal government. Get out of our way. Yeah, do what you got to do to protect, regulation and all that good stuff. Watch the documentary, The Men Who Built America. The Industrial Revolution. Watch that documentary. That is how America got built. It wasn't the government. All right, let me read this article. I'm really going way off on a tangent. United States government not even close to cryptocurrency regulations. The cybersecurity coordinator for the White House has come out and said on February 15th that the United States government are nowhere near the point of regulating cryptocurrencies in the country. That's good and bad news. Good news for us because, yeah, get out of our way, let us do it our ding. Bad news is because, well, we're behind the rest of the world. Since the explosion in popularity of digital currencies over the past year or so, many governments and regulators across the world have been scrambling in an attempt to bring out regulations and laws related to this sector. However, according to Rob Joyce, the individual who made these comments, this is something that is way off in the future for the United States. He did acknowledge that there is a need to get a deeper understanding of the benefits and risk associated with cryptocurrency before a regulatory regime has been developed. I agree with that statement. Joyce believes his views on regulation of Bitcoin after the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin made similar comments and said that his main aim regarding Bitcoin was those people and groups who use it for criminal activity. Stop right there again. What are the 3 forms of government control? Number 1, you criminalize it. Number 2, you ban it. Number 3, you regulate, tax it to death, and then co-op and steal the technology. So again, they're going off with this criminal activity. Give examples. They never say how it's being used for criminal activity. Really? You're worried about one dude who sold Bitcoin for 9.998 Bitcoin so that he can get some weed? That's what you're concerned with? That's what we should focus on? Oh, you're worried about ISIS using Bitcoin? Where are they going to get? They got to transfer that Bitcoin somewhere. That's bogus. It's insulting when they want to use that as an excuse. But they will. We're just worried about criminal activity. Instead of focusing on the many benefits, you want to know who I would vote for president, whether Republican or Democrat, or for any office, is somebody to stand up there and say, hey, listen, let's be real here. The United States is in trillions of dollars in debt. It's going to take over 200 years to pay that sucker off. We've got a healthcare crisis taking place because people can't afford healthcare and the system is gouging them in healthcare prices. We've got an education crisis in our country because we're not properly funding our education system. Our entire infrastructure is crumbling because we haven't upgraded it in 50 years. Our technological innovation is being co-opted by our competitors / enemies in Asia and Russia. As Americans, we need to come together. And the best way to do so is if we have more resources. We need our Americans to be out of debt. And the fastest way right now to get out of debt is not a 9-to-5 job. It is not going to and getting a college education, because that's actually putting you in debt when you graduate. So you're starting off your life as an adult in debt, trying to work a job to go into more debt just to get a house with your mortgage, that you can't afford health care, that you're going to work for 40 years of your life and you're still going to retire broke. And that's if we can keep things going the way they are without the economy collapsing again like it did in 2008. That's best case scenario. So I've got a solution. Cryptocurrency. We need to take full advantage of this. We need to educate our constituents, educate our children, teach them the benefits of blockchain technology, how this is revolutionizing the world, encourage them to start their own businesses where they can hire more people with this new technology. That's going to solve the problems. I don't care who says it, I'm voting for them. But you're not going to see that. Because right now the United States are more interested in keeping the status quo instead of leading the way in something new. That was a downfall of the Roman Empire. Not from outside, but from within. Let me continue, because I lost my track of what I was reading here. However, according to Rob Rose, blah, 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 he did acknowledge that there is a need to get a deeper understanding of the benefits and risks associated with cryptocurrency. Joyce voices his views on regulation of Bitcoin after the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin made similar comments, criminal activities. Instead of focusing on the many benefits associated with cryptocurrencies and the underlying blockchain technology, many governments and regulatory authorities have been emphasizing the majority of their focus on the criminal side of digital currencies. As all transactions are made in such a way that they are pseudonymous, you say that right. In other words, people are anonymous. This makes it much easier for criminals to conduct their business and to hide their funds. These comments from Joyce were made during the Munich Security Conference that was held in Germany over February 15th through the 18th. The main issue they have is the absence of a trail of payments, which could be used to link funds to criminal activity. Once a transaction has been sent, it cannot be undone or returned, as is the case with, say, credit card theft, where the victim can get in touch with their bank and have the cash retrieved. Our world leaders and policymakers continue to have divided opinions over what the future holds for cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin. The likes of the International Monetary Fund talked about the need for regulations for this sector, while the efforts by those in South Korea to introduce regulation in the early part of 2018 subsequently sent Bitcoin prices tumbling. Many of the leading European countries, including those such as France and Germany, are also said to be hard at work when it comes to their regulatory structure for digital currencies. The word regulation is still too broad of a term for this space, as this could mean something as minimal as implementing subtle restriction or as extreme as placing a blanket ban on the trading of digital currencies in a country. As digital currencies do not bring with them any of the significant restrictions that are associated with traditional money and assets, the likes of Bitcoin have become massively popular. The main reason for the extreme levels of volatility the market experiences is due to its decentralized nature, which means that if things go wrong, no central authority can step in and take control of the ship and steer it back to calm the waters. That's the risk of the game. So that's it for Bitcoin Talk today. I think I went for about an hour. So a little long this morning, but this was information that is relevant to us right here in the United States. And you need to know what's going on behind the scenes so that you can make the right moves ahead. It's like you got to play chess. You got to think 10, 15 moves ahead. Vladimir Putin is playing chess while America is still playing checkers or Connect 4. He's 15 moves ahead. You've got to think that way for your family. When you come into this crypto world and you're looking to invest in something, you're looking to maneuver around, you've got to think not only are you looking at what the price of a crypto coin is, but you've got to look at the politics that's being played behind the scenes that will inevitably maneuver the market. That's why I do. I don't do these Facebook Lives just because I want to teach all of you. This is information that I read daily anyway, so that I can stay on top of things. I just chose to turn the camera and the audio on and take you along for the journey. I'm learning every single day because it's always constantly changing. The rules will change. That is a guarantee. Which way they change, we don't know. Best thing we can do is be prepared and expect it to happen one way or the other. Well, I appreciate that, Mafoos, and I appreciate all of you for listening, but more importantly, take action with this information. We are a few weeks away from the launch of our Cryptogenics. As far as pre-launch, I'm excited for what impact we're going to be able to bring to the world with our platform. That's what's exciting to me. I'll make money in anything that I do, but to be able to spearhead and help a platform that's going to help many people, that's exciting at the same time. So with that, you guys have a great day. We'll see how the news is for the rest of the day if I do a crypto talk tonight. So with that, God bless. Bitcoin Brandon out. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cryptogenics.